So what's your favorite movie or TV show? Wow, you have horrible taste. I kid. Now, is your favorite TV show or movie based on a novel, play, or maybe a comic book? Well, would you be upset if you were told that your favorite TV show or movie was based on a comic that was specifically made so it could be turned into said show or movie? For some reason, in today's comic book zenith, there seems to be a lot of conversation that modern comics are just pitches for Netflix, that these comic book writers are using comics as a medium in order to leverage themselves into more prominent roles at movie and TV studios, or that these creators are using comics as a proof of concept in order to pitch their ideas to movies or TV studios. And I'm here to say, is that really a bad thing?
Alright, so before we get into the video, I just want to say my Spider-Man fan comic is out right now. Click the link in the description. My book is currently at the printers right now. By the time this video is out, I should have the physical copies in my possession. So get your orders in today if you want to get a copy of this first print run, because after this print run is done, there's never going to be any more print runs of volume of part 1. It's only going to be the collected edition of the book. Get your orders in today. So, if you want the book, check it out, man. Click the link in the description. You can buy a digital copy if you'd like, the physical copy, which is what I recommend, and you can also buy a sticker with that. Also, I appreciate everybody's watch. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and now let's get back to the video.
Now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Comic book fans have really become divisive over the last 10 years or so due to the rise of social media and fanboys being able to voice their opinions online, no matter how absurd, for everyone to see. One of the most interesting arguments or gripes I have seen in online discourse is that modern comic books are just Netflix pitches, that these creators are not making comics for the sake of them to be comics. But does that really matter though? If we look at the history of comic books, especially mainstream comics coming out of Marvel and DC, many of them were just merchandise folly. Let's start with everyone's favorite era, the 90s Image boom. If we look at the founding fathers of Image Comics, I can honestly say only maybe 3 of these creators made original concept books. That was Todd McFarlane, Eric Larson, and Jim Valentino with Spawn, The Savage Dragon, and Shadowhawk. The rest of the founders were honestly just trying to cash in with X-Men ripoff team books or high art with low substance comic books with just a bunch of buff guys with big guns and a bunch of pockets all over their gear, claws, and half-naked girls, and anything that's pretty much based off of those action movies of the 80s and 90s, the Arnold Schwarzeneggers and the Sylvester Stallone movies. That's all the 90s Image comics were, pretty much, outside of 3 that I mentioned prior. Why do
you son of a bitch.
you think Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld made so many different series at this time? Those #1s Image was putting out were selling like hotcakes. During that time, comics were like crypto. People were trying to buy for low and sell for the high, even though most of those books that came out during that time have extensive real estate in the $1 bin. The Image guys were also trying to sell these comic books as concepts to movie studios as well. Rob Liefeld even funded his own Youngbloods cartoon, trying to follow the wave of the X-Men animated series that was out at the same time. Hell, look at what Todd McFarlane did with Spawn. He is still milking that cash cow to this day. If we're being honest, Larson would probably be only comic book quote-unquote purist out of the lot, because he really didn't try to license Savage Dragon outside of that crappy cartoon that had came out. Savage Dragon has pretty much been the only mainstream IP out of that brand of Larson and the comic. Now let's take it a step back further to the 1980s, when Stan Lee started shopping out all of the Marvel IP for licensing deals, getting toys, toothbrushes, underwear, and an assortment of apparel that was sold in supermarkets all across the country and the world. Let's also not forget the amount of TV shows and movies that came out prior to the MCU. Now, is this an issue? Does the fact that Stan Lee spent most of his comic book career trying to make his comic book characters bigger than comics a problem? Because according to some of the fanboys online, this is an issue. They say it's not purely about comics if you're making the comic book for the sake of turning the comic into a show or a movie. But if we're being honest, if Stan Lee was purely about comic books, Jack Kirby's name would be just as popular as his, but whatever. Let's look at manga, for example. No one ever reads a popular manga and says,
this manga is trash, because you could tell it's just an anime pitch.
Most, if not all, manga fans are excited as hell to see their favorite manga get turned into an anime. Why is this not the same for comic book fans? Are we now spoiled since the MCU and DCU? Because back in the day, people used to dream about seeing their favorite comic books turned to a cartoon, a TV show, or a movie. But now all I ever see online from comic book fans is bitching and moaning and random assumptions about shit, the culture war and woke crap. It's all a mess. It seems like comic fans enjoy arguing about the stuff that actually enjoying the medium. Why is it wrong for comic book creators to maximize their profits for these comic book characters that they are creating, for these comic books that they're putting their blood, sweat, and tears into making? In a comic book industry that is cutthroat, where people are overworked and underpaid and now hate mobbed every time they write or draw a comic book character in the way that fanboys don't like. Why can't they write or draw a comic that is easily translatable to film or TV? Are they not allowed to get paid as well? As long as the comic book is good, who cares if there's a movie pitch that comes along with it?
So what is real comic book art? What is like the definition of a pure comic book, or, you know, things of that nature? Like, what is that to you? For me, a pure comic is literally just sequential art that is produced at the highest fashion, highest level, that has a compelling and amazing story. I don't care if the comic translates to movies or anything like that. If anything, the comic being able to be transmittable into multiple mediums should be a telling sign of how good the story is, right? Is The Walking Dead now invalid because it has a hit series? Is Invincible an invalid series because it is a hit series? The Boys and things like that. Like, I don't really understand the argument we have here, right? And there's no real facts behind this either. People are just assuming things now when it comes to this idea or this argument that all modern comics are just movie pitches, right? You don't really know if that's true or not. At least I don't have any evidence or examples I can choose from. I haven't seen a book come out that's hit crazy and then the creator said, forget the book, I'm just going to go straight into just making a movie out of it. You know what I'm saying? That hasn't really happened. I mean, there might, you know, it might be a thing, it might not be, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But it's just really weird how comic book fans try to minimize creators' achievements by putting these weird random thresholds or hard caps on what's what, you know what I'm saying? And I really don't understand. I don't get it. But what I do get is I'm a comic book creator myself, right? I have my Spider-Man fan comic that's out right now. I'm taking orders currently. Check the link in the description. You order a digital copy or you can order the physical copies. I already got the physical copies at the printer as we speak, so I should be getting those in within the next few weeks, as long as everything lines up, and then I'll be able to mail them out to whoever. I already got a few orders in so far, so if you want to get in on the first print run of my fan comic, click the link in the description. I'd highly appreciate it. Also, this is only part one of the series. This is going to be a overall 60-page book. So part one's out right now. Part two will be out in August, and then we'll go from there. But I'm also putting out the pages for free on my YouTube community tab. If you go to my community tab right now, the first 5 pages are out right now on the community tab. After that, I'm only going to be putting out 3 pages a week. And then on my website, you can read all my old comics for free, and you can also do the same thing with Nobody's Safe, where I will be putting out pages weekly and so forth and so on. So go check it out. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody who's been watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.